Hey guys, what's up? It is Nathan here, and today I have passed 300 subscribers, and to celebrate that, I'm going to be doing a special episode of Nerf Through the Ages. So let's get into it. So I'm doing a special episode of Nerf Through the Ages on the Nerf and Strike Elite Stryfe. I'm holding this wrong. The Stryfe was introduced in 2012 as part of the N-Strike Elite line. It combined the best parts of the Barricade and the Raven and all of that all into one blaster. It has been a staple in the Nerf community for a long time, and so I figured that this would be a great blaster to do my special Nerf Through the Ages episode on. So this blaster, as I said, was released in 2012, and there have been multiple variants of it. But before we get into that, I just feel like even though it's existed for a long time, I should probably show exactly what it consists of, because some of you might never have used a Stryfe before. So first off, there's a front barrel attachment. I actually don't have a barrel to show you, but you can attach the N-Strike front barrels to the muzzle. You have a tack rail under here for something like a foregrip or a tack light. This is just a retaliator foregrip. You have a stock point on the back, where you can attach an N-Strike stock, in this case a retaliator stock, although I personally love stockade stocks. On the top, you have another rail attachment, or another point, although I don't know where any attachments are. And then in here, you have a magazine, and this is actually one of the ones that the Stryfe originally shipped with. In fact, all but one of the versions of the Stryfe originally shipped with 6-round magazines. This one is obviously the Elite Blue Stryfe, but like I said, there were many variants. So here's another one. This is an N-Strike Elite XD Stryfe. Basically the exact same, except it doesn't have a trigger lock. This one actually has batteries in it. This one doesn't have a trigger lock, so even when the mag's empty, you can fire it. The original blue N-Strike version, or N-Strike Elite version, did have a trigger lock, so I would put this in. I still can't pull the trigger all the way. And the reason is because there's a dart lock in the blue versions of this, before you modify them. And then they've released a few other variants though. A few years later, after this one, they released this one, which is the Modulus version. The exact same shell, exact same everything, just in a different color. And this one, I believe, was a Amazon exclusive. I never saw these in stores. In fact, I never saw any of these Stryfes in stores, but these are because I wasn't in the hobby yet. And this one is because I was in the hobby, I just didn't see them in stores. So I'm not sure, but I think these were Amazon exclusives. Now, there is one variant that I do not have, and that is the Battle Camo version. I have played around with one, and I've owned one, but I do not have one here. I will try and put up a photo, but it was really cool. It was exactly the same shell as all of these, but a different blaster. Now, where the Stryfe the place the Stryfe has in my heart is slightly different from other people, because obviously I have plenty of Stryfes. I have an Elite one, I have 2 Modulus ones, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Elite XD ones, which, to be fair, you might be thinking, oh yeah, it's a lot, that's a lot of Stryfes. Why do you need that many Stryfes? And to be fair, first of all, I do commissions, and second of all, these are, yeah, this is not the most Stryfes anyone in my area has. Grim has plenty more. But the other reason is because the other reason the Stryfe is very, very awesome is because it can be modified to hell and back. And so this is my modified Stryfe. It's recent, but it's my HVZ Stryfe, actually. It has Michelle 2's and a new cage, an Open Flywheel Project Morpheus cage in it, and it hits about 120. So it also has, obviously, the extended mag release, the battery tray extension, and it's a really cool blaster. And that's one of the cool things about the Stryfe, was it's a very versatile platform. You can attach stocks, you can attach barrels, you can make it into a little SMG pistol, you can make it into, you can make it into a standard SMG. This is how I usually run it, side note. But you can make it into a standard SMG. You can break it down to pistol. Or, if you're feeling really crazy, you can take it to rifle, a full rifle, or more accurately, an assault rifle. You can do that fairly easily. Now, I will say, this is a lot of barrel drag, but I've seen people run with retaliator barrels on the end. I've seen people run with long strike barrels, as I just showed you. I've seen them run just like this. I'm one of them. I've seen people literally take the entire thing down and just run like this. I've also done that before. And so this is a very versatile platform, and originally it came out at about $20. And that was great for the Stryfe. It came out about $20. It was a really good entry-level blaster. You can modify them to hell and back, but then the dark days hit. So during the dark days, you couldn't purchase a Stryfe. Well, you could, but they were very expensive. You couldn't find them very much. The orange Stryfes at one point were like $6 a piece at Target. The blue Stryfes have always been a little more expensive since the XD and the Modulus came out. But when the Elite XD Stryfe started to die off, there was a serious worry in the hobby that there would no longer be any Stryfes. And there were a few years where it was really difficult to find Stryfes. And when you did, they were expensive unless you found them at like Goodwill or something. But the Modulus Stryfe came about. And these started, and I believe still are, $30. And they're very, very good. And I believe there was a first production issue with them, something about the motors, but these are very good. And they are just like any other Stryfe, just with a different paint job. And arguably, this shell is much better for painting, because it's white, and sanding all of this stuff off and then painting it, white is usually a better catalyst for paint. So, this was really helpful to a lot of people, and I've seen some great things done with the Stryfe. One of the things that I have seen done with a Stryfe that is super cool, that I don't have with me because it's not mine, is the Straven. And it basically was where you took a Stryfe and a Raven and integrated them together, the Raven into the Stryfe's back end, and you got what was dubbed a Straven. There have been multiple Stravens built, along with people integrating ravens into other things. And it looked really cool. The problem is that you have to sacrifice a raven, and I like me ravens. So that was a problem, but when ravens were more plentiful, it was cool. And that's one of the cool things about the Stryfe. It has so much history in our hobby, and it was one of the first elite blasters, and I dare say it changed the way we Nerf. It was a really cool blaster, and I have plenty of history with this blaster. The first commission I bought was a Stryfe. If you go back and look, I believe it's still on my channel. It's on Nerfinator's channel. I'll link that video below. But I bought a commission for a Stryfe, and I ran it with basically just a standard Stryfe with a underslung Chronos, actually. And that's how I met Nerfinator. So the Stryfe brought me a Nerfinator into making the Kansas City Nerf Association. And the Stryfe is extremely influential. And so, yeah, it's a very, very important blaster, and it's important to our hobby. And so that's the Stryfe from its days of having a dart lock in the blaster to the days when it was orange and $6 at Target, to the days where you couldn't find any, to the days where it was modulus and it was easier to paint, to the days where it still exists as a battle camo blaster. The Stryfe is a very important part of our hobby and our life as a hobby and as a community, because the Stryfe is amazing. And it's still amazing about 10 years after it came out. So, also, happy 10-year anniversary, Stryfe. I would like to thank you all very much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see all of you guys later. Thank you guys for 300 subscribers. Bye.